Hey, everybody, welcome back. Got another episode coming to you from our little corner of Central Maryland. It's the UBEC podcast, the Unholy Brotherhood of the Electric Church. I'm Dustin Doolittle, and over there's my partner, Wild Nutty Willie D. He's holding his nuts in his cheeks. He's a
Willie
little
Wa-
squirrely motherfucker.
Willie Walnuts, baby, coming at you.
Willie Walnuts. Hey, man, how's everything been going for you this week? How was your week, man?
Been good, loving this nice warm weather that we've been having here lately. It's pretty sweet, man. Feels like summer's just around the corner.
Well, it is right around the corner, man. Hard to believe. I feel like this year's just flown by. Look at it's halfway through April already.
Yeah, no
It's
shit.
just it's insane how fast it fucking just pew. And if anybody hears, Will said my background's pretty clear, but just in case you do hear, everybody's in Sons of Anarchy this weekend because it's a beautiful day here out in Central Maryland, probably high 70s, low 80s, sun's out. So everybody and their mother's on a fucking chopper today.
Dude,
So,
that's so true. It's been all week long, hadn't it?
oh yeah, every day except for yesterday, like the first half of yesterday. Because in this area, we get the fucking great weather Monday through Friday. It's perfect, and we're stuck at fucking work. And then Saturday it fucking rains.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's. I looked at the schedule for next week, the forecast for next week. Beautiful all week. Saturday fucking rain.
I believe it. I
It's
think
like
I saw that.
it's horseshit. It's every fucking year, dude. April showers bring May flowers, and then May it fucking dumps rain too. It's
Yeah, May is notoriously like our worst month for rain. We get so much rain in the Mays in the past.
yeah. I think we covered it before, but we're telling you guys again, just because we had like fake spring there the last time we talked about it. The last time we really hit the weather, I think we had a couple days where it was like shit. At that time, it was probably only 55, 60, but we thought it was summertime.
It was great.
And then it went back to being like 30 in the day. And then for like 2 weeks, now we got this beautiful weather. Everybody's cutting grass. Everybody's allergies are fucked up. Thank God the trees are done blooming. But, grass, that's another fucking demon in itself.
Yeah, you're right. It's a whole nother demon.
You got to cut it 3 fucking times a week. Dude, I got lucky on Wednesday. I was struggling. I just cut the grass in the back on Saturday. So I'm out there on Wednesday afternoon cutting the backyard, and it's just plumping up, and I don't know how the fuck it grew so long. So my neighbor's got a zero turn, a big one. He came over and fucking hit it real quick for me. I was like, dude, thank you so much.
No
'Cause
shit.
I was fucking dying. I'm like, this motherfucker. I was getting so pissed off at the mower because it wants to bog down and shut off, so you got to lift it. And it's a self-propelled mower. It's a little push mower, but you hit the one trigger and you push it, and it just goes itself. And it's like, still, even doing that, it's like a fucking workout. It's like, God damn, you got to lift it up, push it down, lift it up. And he
Yeah.
come over. I was like, dude, I got to get you some beer. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he hit it. I think he was done in like 10 minutes.
Oh, I believe it with that zero turn.
Yeah. Then I was kind of worried about it today going out there and cutting it again because he didn't have one of the grass catchers on it. So it was nothing but thatch. I mean, it was throwing grass like a motherfucker. I'm like,
Uh,
dude, and it rained yesterday. I was like, that shit's going to be heavy. It's going to clump the mower up. But it didn't, dude. I pushed right through it. I think that today was like a record. I cut the front and the backyard and even the side that's on 66, I think in an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
wow.
I didn't
Nice.
weed eat or none of that, but fuck that. I'll do that on Wednesday. I knew we had this coming up, so I didn't want to be totally dead. I wouldn't be able to fucking lift my arms. You've drove past my house, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That backyard's fucking insane. It's a massive motherfucker.
Yeah, I think you do got a big backyard.
Yeah, I need motherfuckers to start listening to this show so I can go out and get me a big old fucking zero turn myself.
Yeah.
And then
Hell yeah.
I'll start cutting commercial grass and work 9 months out of the year.
That'd be awesome.
Then I'll be a true mid-Atlantic landscaper. I'll hire a bunch of Mexicans like everybody does in this area. And then I'll just, from I'd say November through February, I'll just sit around and get shit faced. I'll be a raging alcoholic like the rest of the landscapers in the mid Atlantic. True or
Goals.
false? Aren't they like that? Every single landscape company, like the owners, they're all raging alcoholics.
Yeah, they're all wild as shit.
My father included. That's what he did when I was a kid. Owned a landscape company. And he subsisted, like we told you guys before. He subsisted on popcorn, cheddar cheese, and pepper jack cheese,
A
and
block of
bologna.
pepper jack.
Yeah, bologna and cheese and Bud Lights.
A block of pepper jack cheese. A whole sleeve of Ritz.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he fucking made it. He's gonna be 60 this year. I don't know how he made it that far.
Wow.
I'm sitting here trying to fucking be healthy and live my life, and he's just like, crack another beer open. I can't, but I can, but I don't know. It's wild this time of year. It's beautiful, but at the same time, I don't know. I'd rather be cutting grass than shoveling snow. I tell you that much.
Yeah, you got that right.
I fucking hate the wintertime with a passion.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Everything's dead. It gets dark early. It's depressing. Let's be real. It's a depressing time of year.
Yeah, we got lucky though this past winter, and even the winter before that.
The winter before though, we had some cold motherfuckers, and it had all that ice. Remember, we got a good bit of ice.
Yeah, we our coldest part of the winter was December this past year. Remember?
Yeah,
It was
that
like
was
6 degrees.
on Christmas fucking day, dude. It was
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I think with the wind chill it was like -12 or some
Oh
shit.
my God, that wind was blowing so hard too.
We're in here like little fucking Timmy from A Christmas Carol. Please, sir, can I shovel more coal in the furnace? The kids opening fucking Christmas presents with mittens on. Dude, we
That's
had the
great.
heat. We had the fucking heat cranked, and it was still cold as a bitch. My fucking electric bill from December was like $600.
Good God.
Yeah, it was wild. I was like, when I got it, I was like, yeah, we're not paying that. So
Yeah,
I
we're
kind
gonna.
of, I was like paying a little minimum up until I think March. I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and pay the rest now. I was just paying a little bit here and there, motherfuckers. You ain't getting $600 all at once. These electric companies around here, they're full of shit, dude. Well, the one electric company that we have to have,
Yeah, the only
that
one.
not like we have much fucking choice.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
shit.
I could run nothing in this house. My electric bill is going to be like 180, $200.
Is that right?
Running absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Good God.
I don't know why. When I lived off of Orchard down there in town, my electric bill, if I didn't, because I didn't run the AC until May, June, my electric bill when I wasn't running anything was like maybe $100.
Jesus.
It might be this fucking contraption I have here, this computer, this power sucking fucking computer.
You know what my electric bill was last month?
Probably like $30.
Yeah, it was $25.
But you have a little 1 bedroom apartment, you probably have a total of what, 250, 300 square foot?
Dude, I unplug everything when I leave the house. I mean everything. TV, everything. I unplug it all.
You're like one of those German electricians my wife's dad used to work with. They would do that. They would tell him all the time, unplug everything in your house. Don't wash clothes until like 8 o'clock at night. You
Dude,
know,
I only plug in my microwave when I use it and then I unplug it. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not bullshitting you.
they would tell him to unplug his hot water heater whenever it wasn't running.
That's pretty hardcore.
Because they said that whenever, even though it fills up with hot water, it's got to maintain the hot water also.
Yeah,
But
it's
you
got
would
to
think,
keep it hot.
but you would think because the way they're insulated, that it wouldn't have to do too much work to keep that water hot.
Yeah,
Because
you wouldn't think.
they've got some thick fucking insulation in them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Germans, they know, I guess, best, especially when it comes to keeping things hot and running furnaces and ovens. And
That's because, yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
well, it's the truth. They know how to build nuclear bombs, and you know,
They're a really green country. You know that? Like they're into in the environment and all that other shit. So they're always like energy efficient. Don't use too
they
much energy.
they were, they were. But have you seen a lot of the countries, the more progressive countries in Europe that depended on like natural gas and shit from Russia, are needing to go back to dirty energy like coal and shit
Yeah, they have
because
to.
they can't buy from Russia. Russia was the largest exporter of natural gas in that region for those countries. So that's an unforeseen. I don't know if it was unforeseen, but it's an unintended consequence of the sanctions on Russia.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
And I don't know, did it really hurt Russia that bad?
Mm,
They seem to be doing okay.
yeah, they seem to be doing fine.
It's kind of scary. There's some countries dumping the U.S. dollar too. I don't know if you've noticed that they're going to trade more in like the ruble or the yen, the Chinese yen.
Yeah,
I think there's like a block of countries: South Africa, India, China, Russia, Iran, Venezuela. I don't think it's enough to do damage to us right now, but if the trend continues, it's kind of worrying. But there is like population collapse that's going to happen in Russia, or not Russia, but China, even Russia. Look at all their men that are dying in this war, and they don't have that many to begin with. I think their population was about 85 million. That's a
yeah,
third of what our population is. And China, that they might have 1.2, 1.6, whatever it is, billion, but most of that population's an aging population because of the one child policy that they had for so long. They didn't realize that population collapse would begin to happen. And then look at our generation alone, even in a lot of countries, like developing and developed countries, we're not having kids like we used to. I'm not. I mean, I had three, but I mean, even look at yourself. You don't have any children. Maybe you'll never have, and if you do, at your age, we're the same age, and we're gonna have maybe one, maybe two. In the past, people were having 10, 12, 15 kids
yeah.
out there to tend the fields and shit.
The Mennonites and the Amish still do. They have big families.
Those motherfuckers are gonna take over. They're just waiting. They're waiting. Their women are out there weed whacking. Have
That'd
you
be
seen that?
crazy.
Dude, they make their women and children go out there and do the lawn work.
Yeah, those women work.
You got Papa Yoder over there, and he's just working the wood mill.
Papa Yoder.
Yeah, you got fucking Ezekiel Yoder. He's got his fucking hand pump planing mill or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Hey, bitch, go mow the grass.
yeah.
God said I have dominion over you.
She's using a fucking sickle to mow the grass with.
Yeah, she's just out there like the fucking Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
She's taking souls of the fucking blades of grass.
Dude, that would have sucked so bad having to do that back then, you know?
I was watching a TikTok video yesterday about it. It was a dude. He was out, looked like he was in like, I don't know, some Middle Eastern. He looked Middle Eastern country, and he was in this big ass field, and it was so satisfying to watch though. But I was
He was
like,
getting it.
that's some hard fucking work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure his blade was sharp as shit, but I mean, just that rotation and just that constant movement. And it's like, what happens when that blade starts going dull? You're dragging it across at that point. You're gonna stop and go fucking sharpen it up real quick? No, you're
They
just gonna,
they probably had to.
yeah. Man, kudos to those guys. And that's what I say whenever, if you think the old times were so much better, go back and cut your fucking grass with a sickle. You know, go back and before the age of penicillin and get an infection. You
Yeah.
think the old days were so great? That's what I meant. I mean, the values were cool, I guess. I mean, if you like being able to beat your wife, I guess the old times were a great time to be alive.
Oh my God.
But really, was it any better back then? Well, there's so much crime today. There's just as much crime in the past. When's the last time we had like a real silly serial killer?
Yeah.
Like a Jeffrey Dahmer or a type like that. Hasn't been that. We catch them.
Yeah.
So were the old times really any better?
We don't have any Jack the Rippers now or Ted
Yeah.
Bundys or
We just have more access to the news and all the bad shit that happens in the news. So we think that everything is so much worse. But in
right.
reality, back in the day, you only had access to the information that was really within your vicinity.
Exactly.
So, of course, in a town like Boonesboro, there was never any murder. If there was, it made the front page of our little fucking newspaper. But then we look at Baltimore. All the crimes coming this way. The crimes coming. Well, what do you expect? They're in a fucking concrete jungle. They got to go somewhere.
Right.
It's going to expand. But I still don't. I don't think it's that bad these days.
It's different.
It's always different. Everything's different. We're
It's
gonna look
different.
back on these days when we're old and gray. Well, I remember the good days, and like, but we're not. We're gonna have rose-colored glasses on.
Right.
We're not gonna see the reality of it. I mean, are we gonna remember the junkies that were out holding up the walls of the fucking apartments in downtown Hagerstown? No, we're gonna gloss over that shit, and we're gonna remember the good days when gas was $2.50 a gallon.
I'll remember.
Why will we will because we're fucking realistic. You remember the good old days when we were in Vietnam and Iraq and Afghanistan? Those were the great days. Remember when they had the draft and we had to send people to die in the jungles of Vietnam? Wasn't it so great back then?
Oh
I
my
guess.
god.
So speaking of the news, what we got? You got some articles for me? For us, for the
Yeah,
listeners?
yeah. So I do. So we'll start it out with another train derailment, which is you brought to my attention. There was actually another train derailment aside from this one, but this article came out last night at 7:10 p.m. But a freight train carrying hazardous material derails in Maine. Rockwood Fire and Rescue is reporting a train derailment with fire north of Rockwood. A freight train carrying hazardous material. Blah, blah, blah. We already got all that. Let's see what they had on there.
Real quick while you're
Uh,
looking, what's that website called again?
the Hill.
The Hill. I'm gonna throw it up so everybody can see.
There you go.
All right, if I can remember how to use this. Put it in carrot chop. We ain't got
it's
carrot chop.
it said the spokesperson told the outlet the derailment happened at around 8:30 a.m. because of a track washout, which happens after heavy rain washes away the roadway under the train track. I'm trying to see if it says anything about what they had. But no, they're not giving any detail on what was in there unless you can find it. Maybe I glossed over it too quickly.
I didn't really see anything other than, excuse me, hazardous material. So of course, after they've learned from their fuck up with Ohio, they're just not going to tell us exactly what's in it. It's hazardous materials, and they're warning residents to stay away.
Yeah, they're probably going to come up with something like some bill or something where they don't have to disclose details anymore. Don't you think that's going to happen here soon?
Yeah, and that's bullshit. Especially under this administration that is apparently, more climate friendly than any other administration that we've had. But they're going to take the side because you know what? The majority, I think, if not all rail companies are, they're fucking
What?
unions.
Yeah, they are. They're all unions.
So it's the classic story of what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. So there's special interest group and the railroads and the railroad unions a special interest group. So they're going to come out with legislation that's going to say if it's whatever amount of particulates, if it's a certain material that's deemed safe by the EPA, which the EPA is just like the FDA, just like every other, environmental kind of agency. It's not led by real fucking scientists.
Right.
It's led by a bunch of non-elected bureaucrats. So they're going to let it slide just to protect the fucking unions and the interests of the railroads. The railroads, we depend on them, but there should be a level of accountability. It's just like the banks, the too big to fail. And that's the whole fucking thing is, they say they're for the common man, but so Norfolk Southern say they get the shit suit out of them. They go bankrupt. They have to close the doors. You know what happens in real capitalism? Another company steps in and takes over operations and does it better and does it the right way. Maybe not 100%, but they do a better job than its predecessor. That's what capitalism is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be propping up these large corporations because we might feel some temporary pain, especially the employees and everything like that. But eventually there's going to be another company that comes along that does a better job because
Yeah,
obviously they can't fucking carry the ball.
but here's the thing, harping back to what you said about these major corporations. The problem with these major corporations are they're donators to campaigns, And so they're going to keep propping them up as long as they're generating revenue in order to donate to, choose which party, the Democrats or the Republicans. They want to make sure if that person voted Republican in the past, they're going to vote it again. So let's help them out so they can help us out in the future.
Well, you know what a lot of large corporations do? They donate to both fucking sides. They'll donate to the Republicans and to the Democrats the same exact amount because whoever gets in, they want to have, a little bit of say. When they send their lobbyists into Congress or whatever, they want them to listen to them. So they just donate to both parties. They write it off as a fucking tax loss or a charitable donation or whatever, under their taxes, and they let it go. I think that, and I think the Supreme Court failed when they ruled that, because they ruled that corporations are more or less the same as an individual. I can't afford to go out there and donate shit, even $1,000 to a political campaign, let
Right.
alone 250,000 or whatever the max is that they can, and that's
No
just
shit.
that's just reported. Are
Right.
they whining and dining them? What are they, hey, come talk to us, come have this meeting at our facility, like the fucking shit show up at Volvo in our town when Biden came in and talked to the union there at Volvo. They walked around at Volvo, the managers and everything, and told their employees that if they didn't want to be there, they gave them a half a day paid to go home. And they told people that were in attendance, if they heckle, they're fired.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
100%. Yeah. Isn't that some bullshit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's
I
like,
didn't hear I didn't know that.
what kind of backdoor deals? And both sides do it. I'm not saying, it's a bipartisan issue. If
Right.
there's one thing both parties can agree on, it's lobbyist money.
Yeah, they both got it. Neither one is innocent of that crime.
And that's why I said a couple weeks ago what I said when, we don't have Democrats and Republicans in this country. We have politicians. We have
Right.
talking heads on the television that don't give a flying fuck about you and me and what our interests are. And it's down to even like the discourse between citizens. How many times have you gotten in an argument with someone at work or someone just walking down the street because of their political views? Probably none. You have family that doesn't agree with 100% your political stance. I have family that doesn't agree with mine. Do I argue with them? Does it ruin fucking Christmas and Thanksgiving? No, of course not.
Right.
It's all these box writers and all these vice, because they go in and they want to, and even like the Hill or like the Daily Wire, because those are, they're the same, the Candace Owens and shit. They just do it on the Republican side of it. They
Right.
they want to play the victim, play the outrage card. They're just as bad as Vice or Vox. They just say it, and maybe I agree a little more with what they're saying, but half the time I'm like, why the fuck is it even a big deal? I might not
Yeah.
agree, like the Bud Light thing. Who gives a fuck about Bud Light support? And I don't fucking care. If anything, it's, if they were marketing to kids or something like that, maybe that's a different story. I don't fucking care. So
I
why
will
is I'm not going to let something like that ruin my day. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to keep an eye on this story though, and hopefully next week or the week after we can come back with a follow-up story because I'm interested to see what's going on with all these derailments. I wonder if what you're saying is true, if it has to do with the unions and the organizations and this and that, because you might be onto something there.
Follow up. I'm going to write that down just so if you forget, I'll remember, or vice versa.
Let's do a funny article, man. I think you'll like this one.
All right.
All right, this one is from our brothers and sisters over at Fox News. This was published on the 12th of this month. Hikers in England rescued after getting high on magic mushrooms, falling ill on a mountain trail. Hikers were rescued at Lake District National Park near Keswick, England. A group of hikers in England got high on magic mushrooms during a mountain trek and had to be rescued after some of them felt ill over the weekend. The hikers, identified as a group of young adult males, were walking along the Lake District National Park in Stonycroft, Newlands, and Seathwaite area when passersby became concerned. Rescuers received multiple calls for help from those who passed the group. The agency said two males were feeling unwell including the group's driver after taking magic mushrooms.
Wow.
An 11-member team was dispatched to go meet the hikers. The rescuers walked down the mountain with the group, which were given advice by the team medic.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to show one picture just to show you guys the area that they're hiking in, just because I'm interested to see more of that.
Look at that.
Beautiful, beautiful area. That fucking
Yeah,
church. This one is what got me. I like that.
there you go. Yeah, that's crazy. Looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, doesn't
Yeah, yeah, it does. Like there should be a little fucking hobbit in there running around that wheel.
it?
So
So,
they found the mushrooms then, and they decided to have a little snacky snack. And
I don't know if they found the mushrooms or they took them with them. I think they took them with them.
why wouldn't you just wait for your trip to kind of wear off then? You know, they just someone probably started having a bad trip, didn't know how to handle it, and
Yeah, they were noobs, man. I think that's what it was.
yeah, I mean, we all have a bad experience at least once a trip. Your mind can start going down some alleyways you don't want to go down,
Right.
and you got to kind of bring yourself back to reality. Yeah, they're not trained professionals at the art of eating mushrooms.
Rogan said it the best just because, and he said this about bad trips. He was like, bad trips aren't bad. He was like, just because you get a bad meal at a restaurant, does that mean you're never going to eat again? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just because you stayed at a bad hotel and it was a shitty bed, does that mean you're never going to sleep again? You know, you got to keep doing these experiences, and eventually you're going to get that, breathtaking experience where you're like, okay, this was worth
Well, even like
it.
some of the most eye-opening trips are the bad ones, or maybe not even bad, but like the anxiety-inducing trips, the ones that make you uncomfortable, and that's where you learn the most
Yeah,
about yourself and your inner person, your subconscious. To me, that's always been where I look back fondly on it. It's not fun in the moment,
no,
and I mean maybe they were hiking a portion that they'd never went to before. If you're in an unfamiliar location, something I could see that maybe fucking you up a little bit, but I don't know. That just fucking idiots.
I think what happened was they were hiking, they're getting their heart rate up, their blood pressure's up, and that's when, your anxiety's up too. And especially when you're taking a bunch of edibles, smoking a bunch of weed, mushrooms, acid, when your heart rate's up, your blood temperature's up, your blood pressure's up, that's when things start getting bad, because you're not relaxed. You're not in the moment. You're amped up.
Yeah, so that adrenaline hits on top of the psilocybin, and
All right.
they're just like fucking, they're railed at that point. They're way too fucking gone. So
Yeah.
that's why, like, this is just what I personally would do. I would hike to where my destination is, stop, then eat them, spend a couple hours in nature, and then make the trek back after.
Right.
Maybe not like as soon as the trip's done, maybe when you're in that afterglow, you're coming down and you can appreciate what you just walked up through. But yeah, I wouldn't take it and then go hiking. Because I mean, shit, especially around here, I don't know how their trails are, but you got an hour just to get to where you're going most places here.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, do I want to eat a fucking 3 grams, 4 grams of mushrooms and then go fucking walk for an hour? No. I want to fucking eat that much and sit down and just enjoy what, because a lot of times it's unexpected when it starts hitting you.
Yeah.
Like you feel it rise and then it's like bam.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Wizard of South Mountain just smacking you on the fucking head with his wand.
It just hits you.
Yeah, it's like you can feel it coming on a little bit, but then it's like, because I remember the one time I looked at you, I was like, I'm there. Like I didn't realize it, but then it's just like in that second when I noticed it,
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, I'm fucked up.
It hits you good.
So they're hiking and it's like you said, they're fucking breathing heavy, their blood's pumping, adrenaline's going, and then it starts hitting them. Then and it's like, where am I at? Oh no, rescue me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the dumbasses wanted to fucking go off trail, and maybe got themselves lost like a bunch of dumbasses. Like, I'm on a psychedelic, let me go off trail. all the way. It's
It's
not a good
stupid.
idea. Not
No.
in the trip. I mean, maybe to get to where you're going before you trip, but don't do it while you're tripping. You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Use a little common sense when you're doing stuff like that.
What if that's what happened to Hansel and Gretel?
Ugh.
They were out there
Well,
in the English countryside. They tripped on some mushrooms and they went, and that's when they seen the witch and everything.
here we go.
Or
All right.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, let's
My
hope these
grandmother's a wolf.
let's hope these people are all right. Let's hope it didn't ruin that experience, didn't ruin them for the rest of their lives. But
Yeah, they
who
got one more
knows?
shot.
Yeah.
And then it's like Vladimir said from Rocky 4, if he dies, he dies.
If he does, he does. I must break him.
Yeah, because I mean, you get two chances. Next chance they fuck up, just leave them in the woods.
Yeah.
If they make
But
it out, they're survivors. Just let Darwin do his work.
yeah.
I don't think you get a free pass on that 2 times.
No, that's you don't.
Just my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the next one since the whole Budweiser thing is such a controversy right now, and there's a lot going on with that. I had to bring this up. I want your opinion. I'm hoping we can get a good rant out of you, but maybe not. I guess if you're not triggered enough. But this is from the world famous New York Post, which we cover so many articles from.
They
And
seem
this,
like they're the last bastion of true journalism. They take both sides.
they're pretty badass. I like them.
Like they're right down the line. Like they'll attack Republicans and Democrats.
But this was published on April 12th. Title is Budweiser Clydesdale events canceled on safety concerns over Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney campaign. A Budweiser distributor in Missouri is canceling events featuring the beer giant's famous Clydesdale horses as Bud Light faces boycott threats over its marketing partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
I mean, sorry guys, I had to adjust my glasses and my headset. I think they're overreacting. I think a lot of it's overstated. I guess they're saying like everybody's getting death threats and this and that. It's just like, I don't know. The people that are fucking triggered about it, it's kind of stupid. The people that are triggered about other people being triggered, that's stupid too. Like it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like this shit's done on purpose. And they're saying that like after, because I think they lost like $5 billion in market share. That's
Yeah,
allegedly.
they did. Yeah, I read that too.
So I mean, and then after they shared that, I guess they're saying that it was like C level, like low level marketers that made the decision. It wasn't approved large scale. But then it comes out, I don't know if this is true or not either, because you don't know what you can believe. And if Google doesn't approve of the narrative that you're going with, you're not going to find the news articles there either. But apparently their CEO or whatever is like a CIA guy too.
Get out of
He's either
here.
ex CIA and then after it was brought up, he's deleted his Twitter account.
What?
Yeah, because after he made that statement about like, and they say it was I didn't read it just because I don't know, man. I drink Bud Light. I could give a fuck less about what they do. I don't watch TV for commercials. Like I don't watch commercials at all, so I don't even know about it. I seen it on Facebook when the outrage started, and that was the first I heard of it. And it's like everybody else, it's like, oh, switch to Coors. Well, Coors is going to do something similar. Or it's like the dumbasses, you know what they do? They go out and they're like, well, I don't drink fuck a Bud Light. I'll drink me a natural light. Or I'll drink me
Same
a Bush Light.
same company.
Same fucking company.
Yeah, same
You're just
company.
you're getting that cheap leftover beer.
You can't even even the Mexican beers. You can't get away from it, man. They do
Corona,
Modelo, Corona.
Sol. I don't
Yeah,
know if
dude.
Sol is still enough, but I think they own the company that produces, or at least the bottling portion of it.
You ain't getting away from that. The only way you're gonna get away from that, I think I said this the last episode, or I said it to you or somebody else. If you drink IPAs, okay, independent breweries like that aren't owned by like a giant conglomerate, that's the only way you're gonna do it, man. If you're drinking
Yeah.
any like regular name beer, guess what? You're supporting the cause.
Yeah, and even like I said, even if it's not, Anheuser-Busch, like it's the Coors company. They are in on that shit too. They
Oh
haven't.
yeah.
I don't know if they have come out with it. I'm sure they've had some kind of gay pride, whatever, for Keystone and all that, and Coors Light. To me, it's a little stupid because it's not marketing to their base.
But dude, who do you think really owns it all? Fucking Larry Fink and BlackRock.
BlackRock, yeah.
Doesn't he probably own a major portion of Anheuser-Busch? So of course they're putting transgender people on cans. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's their agenda. That's what they're pushing.
Yeah,
BlackRock, I mean, they got their hands in everything. You're not going to get away from it. If they want to push it, they're going to push it.
100%. I don't know. I like the outrage about it. To me, it's just kind of silly on both sides.
Oh, I agree. It is stupid.
All across, like I said, the people that are outraged and the people that get mad about other people being mad. It's like, okay, you have your opinion, and it's like Kid Rock going out with his fucking gun and shoot. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but it's like they still got your money, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the whole thing, and I've said it a million times. It's the people that burn the sports jerseys and all this shit. It's fucking silly. It's one of the most asinine things I've ever seen in my life.
I think it's fucking great, man, because it's like, so here's this motherfucker. All right. It's like he loves drinking Bud Light, but because of this incident, he's not going to drink Bud Light anymore. So he's depriving himself of something that he likes because of something that's on the can. They didn't change the ingredients, they didn't change the formula, they didn't raise the price, okay? Because of something that's on the can, he's gonna let it ruin. I mean, you're just an idiot, though. You know what I mean? At that point, that's just so stupid. That is asinine.
I'm a Ravens fan, and I don't boycott it whenever they put the fucking Steelers cans out.
Right, right. I
You
know.
know,
I love the Ravens. I love them so much, but because of this one little thing, I'm gonna deprive myself of what I love.
and
Okay, even it doesn't matter, but I am.
let's be honest, it's probably going to be a targeted marketing strategy too. Like, is it going to release the can or whatever it is all across the United States? Probably not. It'll probably be marketed towards like Seattle, Portland,
San
Los Angeles,
Francisco.
Frederick, New York City. It's going to be marketed to certain locations. But this is the thing. It's that beer's for the blue collar. That's for the working man. And the dude is probably some fucking drunk country bumpkin hillbilly fuck that's been defrauding welfare and like workers' comp or disability his entire fucking life.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking 15 junk mowers in his yard. You know, he's got 10 kids, his fat baby mama, and he's, like I said, been defrauded. He's been living off food stamps. His kids don't have a pot to piss in because he drinks their money away every fucking once a month whenever he gets that disability check. But his
Right.
trailer's paid off and he don't fuck around with them sissy boys. That's probably who's fucking really mad about it. And that's the problem with America. Now, I'm not for censorship, but these motherfuckers are allowed on Facebook and Twitter
Yeah, they
on,
shouldn't be.
on both sides.
All right, all right, that we're gonna keep covering. I mean, we're gonna cover that about as much as we can. I mean, everybody's been covering it. So what's the point of us talking about it? I just thought that was interesting that they're canceling events now. I got another article for you, Dustin, and this one is an interesting one. And to be perfectly honest with you, these type of articles are what scare me. Okay, do you remember how we were talking about the robot dog and shit, and like
Yeah.
advanced robotics and how they can go, how there might be a threat of them going rampant and everything. Okay, this one right here is kind of robot news, sort of. Okay, but this is from ABC 6 in Rhode Island. All right, the title of this one: Massachusetts State Police locate two missing teens with infrared technology. Okay, now before you say anything, let me stop you. All right, this is great that they found those missing teens. Okay, what's not great is how they used it: infrared technology. When they start using infrared like that, on a civilian level, it's one thing to use it in the military. All right, if they're hunting down a bunch of, Al Qaeda or whatever, by all means. But when they're using infrared imaging or technology on a civilian level, which they probably already have for a while, they're just not telling us a lot about it. That's what worries me. Okay, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna show the article real quick, and then I'll get into my opinion of it. But
Well, you might. Can you play the video? What happens if you play the video? How
I
long
don't
is it?
I don't know. Let's see. I'll try it.
It probably won't play with any sound. But there it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
there are those kids.
it's like Call of Duty.
Now, that doesn't worry you at all. I mean, imagine that, dude. They can see if you're in your house or not. You know how many people are in your house.
Of course, it worries me. I
That's
mean,
what. That's what I don't like.
I think you'd be a fool if it doesn't worry you, but it's the people that it doesn't bother. It's like, well, if you don't have anything to hide, then why do you care? Because it's none of the government's fucking business what I do in the privacy of my own house.
Well,
This is America.
it opens the door for a lot of anti-privacy. I mean, when you're able to infrared see inside someone's house, like I said, they can see where you're at, what you're doing, how many people are in your house. You know, for a lot of purposes, this is a good thing. You know, like I just explained before. But as an average civilian, is this what we want our law enforcement and people to have to be able to just know exactly what's going on in our house with this type of technology? I don't like it.
I don't either, no, because it's the human equation to it all.
Right.
And the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right now, it's great that they found the missing kids, and if it's only used in that capacity, great, but it's not gonna be. Why do you think in the past, I'd say 6 7 years maybe, the term of domestic terrorist has been thrown around so much? Because if you're a domestic terrorist, they're going to use military grade equipment to survey you.
Right.
They're going to watch your every fucking move. Why do you think Edward Snowden's locked away in fucking Russia? Well, he's not locked away, but why do you think he's in asylum? He seeked asylum in Russia, one of the most restrictive countries in the world, mind you, because we got a fucking death sentence for him because he gave away all the information about spying by the NSA and what they
Right.
were doing there. These tools, yeah, they're great if they're used correct, but they're not. Yeah, I
But
don't trust the fucking United States government as much as I could fucking throw it. And it's a big fucking, that's a lot of people, and I can't toss them.
and there's a new Patriot Act that they just instated now, isn't there? Or they're trying to
Well,
pass a new
he re-signed it. It's a
re-signed it, yeah.
continuation, and I think they add some shit to it, and they hide all this shit in like their. That's why, when the Tea Party, of course, they were put out to be a bunch of crazies, but both parties do it. The neocons and the fucking Democrats, they load a bunch of pork in the bills.
Right.
It'll be a bill about healthcare, but there'll be shit about, domestic terrorists in it. So no, I don't fucking trust it at all. And I bet you they're using it already on American,
Yeah.
citizens.
That's what I was thinking too. It's
Maybe
like how,
not, maybe not local law enforcement, but on the level of like the CIA, the DEA, the ATF, FBI, all these alphabet agencies, they're using it. I fucking guarantee you they're using it.
dude, imagine if back in like the Nancy Reagan days where they were just plowing through, low income neighborhoods and everything, trying to bust all these crack dealers and everything like that. Imagine if they had that infrared shit, man. They would just be going nuts with it.
You say Reagan, imagine fucking Nixon with it.
Well, no, but Nancy Reagan, remember that was when
She
a
was a
lot of,
psycho.
yeah, they were doing a lot of dirty shit and they were fucking up a lot of they were fucking up a lot of areas that weren't that great to begin with, and they weren't helping it. They were just making it worse, man, you
Well,
know?
LJB started it, and he was a Democrat. He started it with the housing.
LBJ.
Yeah, LBJ, Lyndon Johnson, when he started like the housing project initiative of urbanizing cities and all that. And then it's
Yeah,
like, of course, you have people crammed on top of each other. Drugs are going to come in. We're one of the biggest supporters of the drug cartels. Well, actually, we are the largest, you know, customer, the American citizenry of, organized crime for like the Mexican drug cartels and shit like that. Colombia,
right, right.
Guatemala, all those countries, we support their economies through drugs. And I mean, in the 80s, what were we doing with like the Iran Contra? What were we doing with Colombia? We were fucking smuggling the drugs for them.
Yeah, we
The
were.
CIA was smuggling cocaine. And, I thought it was a rumor, but they were fucking introducing crack cocaine, freebase cocaine into the inner city.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, we have this drug problem in America. We need to have a drug war. The drug war has been the worst waste of spending and resources in this country's history.
The war
It's
on drugs.
Yeah, because all we've done is made it more lucrative for criminals. If you really wanted to have a war on drugs, make it, instead of like sending dare out to fucking kids, like do we have any like drug education in fucking like after maybe 7th grade? Like, did they
Not
come and
really.
talk to us in high school about drugs and why they were bad? No.
No.
They talked to you when you're in like 4th grade. Like, okay. And then it's like, okay, then I'm like a freshman or sophomore. It's like, oh, what's that weed? That's the weed. Let's smoke the
Yeah.
weed.
Drugs are
And
cool now.
yeah, but we didn't have someone coming in and saying at that point, this is what crack cocaine can do to you. No, they didn't give a fuck at that point. That's when you're at your most impressionable. I think you're in your most rebellious stage.
I
But yeah,
agree.
they're going to use that against the American population, especially say there's some more shit that goes down with Trump and all that. That's like more fucking riots. And they're going to start using this technology if they aren't already.
I know. And I was thinking the same thing. Like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is not good. You guys like you and I, and there's a lot like us, we see an article like that for more than what it is. We read between the lines in an article like that. And instead of us being like, oh, that's great, they found those 2 kids, which is great, we also think, oh wow, that can be really horrible.
Well, it's like the rapid response teams and shit like that. Like, I seen a picture. I don't know if it was Hagerstown or Frederick's police department, but they're posting pictures of like MRAPs or like something like that, like a fucking military. What does a civilian police force need military grade equipment for?
Yeah.
And I've had this thing like even like with the George Ferguson thing and all that. So when there's a fucking riot, what do those riot police have in their guns?
Like salt, bean bags, shit like that.
Non-lethal ammunition.
Yeah, non-lethal.
Why don't they fucking carry that? Because that's enough to put you down, dude.
Yeah.
You get hit by a rubber bullet, that shit fucking hurts. Like you're
Yeah, it
not getting up.
does. Yeah.
So why doesn't our normal police force carry that?
Right.
Why don't they use the tasers more? And save the live ammunition for like and I understand, there's circumstances that you are unforeseen. When you're at a traffic stop or something like that and it goes south, the guy pulls a gun, whatever. But just my opinion, why do they need to carry live ammunition 100%? That should be reserved for certain circumstances.
I agree.
A dude's coming at you with a knife and you shoot him with your 9mm in the chest, he's dead on the spot. Was he a threat at that point? Yeah, because he's rushing you with a knife, but was he a threat to the point where he should have been killed?
Right.
Hit him in the fucking chest with a rubber bullet, break a couple ribs. He stopped. You can fucking assess the situation then and arrest him, send him to the hospital, and take him in after that. That's my whole thing. Like, why does the fucking police force need military grade equipment? There's alternatives that we can use to stop some of the police shootings that are unjustified. Even the justified killings, maybe the situation can be handled differently. And I think, it's the same thing with the Bud Light and with this. It's like, you get those fucking crazy people. I back the blue. Well, so do I. I mean, I support police, but there are bad fucking police. There are dickhead cops. And I don't think dickhead cops should be driving around a fucking town in a goddamn tank. You know?
Yeah.
They treat it like they're fucking operating on the streets of Fallujah.
It's not that serious.
No. It's just, I don't know. It drives me nuts. Military grade equipment, even like that, like the imaging, great for what it was used for, but I think it should be limited to like life saving only.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Imagine like the Branch Davidians, even, and like we said a couple weeks ago, the dude was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But say he just had semi-automatic, like every weapon that he had was legal, because they'll start like investigating you if, say, I have every legal weapon, everything's legal, but if I start buying ammunition and stocking ammunition, you go on a fucking list.
Right.
Why do you need 10,000 rounds of ammunition? I don't know. Why does FEMA need $2 million worth of fucking 22 caliber ammunition? Why?
Yeah.
It's none of your fucking, like, you're not going to tell me why FEMA bought all those rounds. Why should I have to fucking tell you? Because I want them. You can come in and look at my guns. They're all semi-automatic. They're all legal, registered. It's none of your fucking business why I have what I have. But
I
you know that
agree.
the technology like that, they're gonna fucking look in your house and they're gonna see, and that just, they use that to get around. Is it the Fourth or Fifth Amendment? Where the protection of your own home.
Yeah, I can't remember, but you're right. They are. They're trying to sidestep that amendment.
And think about the states like where weed's still illegal and shit. Because here coming up in July, Maryland, you can grow so many plants, whatever. But say like Texas, where weed's still illegal, you piss this cop off, you had a bad traffic stop, something like that. So they use this imaging on your fucking house, and they see one weed plant, and they come and fucking raid you with their tank that they have. They knock the whole side of your house down for one little weed plant just to fucking abuse their power.
Well, I agree. We will keep following up, and we will keep you guys posted on infrared news or anything like that, because I thought that was pretty interesting. So hopefully we'll be able to find more. Let's finish up this last one. We'll do one more article and then we'll wrap it up. This is a tech article, so we'll put this in the nerd news pile, but this is from bigtechwire.com, published on April 7th. New leaked details of Sony's new handheld gaming console. They're calling it the Q Lite. So it looks like Sony's getting into the handheld console, probably based off of the success of the Switch, I'd imagine. Insider Gaming has exclusively reported that a new PlayStation handheld console is currently in development. Codenamed the Q Lite, the next generation device is designed to work in conjunction with the PlayStation 5, further expanding Sony's gaming ecosystem. The Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but rather utilizes remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature that Sony has been actively promoting in recent weeks. The handheld console will support adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 frames per second, requiring constant internet connectivity for optimal performance. Dustin, what do you think of this?
I mean, they're a little late to the game because you have the Switch, which for what it is and what it started out as was, it was pretty much, well, they started it with the Wii U. I think that was more like a prototype for the Switch. But then I don't know if you've seen them. Have you seen these Steam Decks?
Yeah, they're awesome. They look cool
So
as shit.
this is the Steam Deck. I'll show everybody, and then I'll flip over and show you the Sony one. But yeah, you can get this. There's several different iterations. You can play it cloud based. You can play games that you have downloaded. Steam, you can already play. Like I can play from an iPad if I wanted to through the cloud. Connects to my lap or my computer here. Same quality, and that's kind of the beauty. And with PlayStation missing like the cloud gaming portion, if they don't switch that over to cloud gaming, I think they're kind of missing the bus there, just because the cloud gaming is where it's at. You're not relying on your processor, you're relying on the servers of the company. So like where I play a game that I have downloaded, say I'm playing like Far Cry 5, 6, whatever, I need to have a graphic card that meets a certain requirement, and it has to have a certain amount of VRAM, video RAM, for me to have a smooth gaming experience.
Sure.
And then like the monitor I have, it's 165 hertz. It's got and PlayStation and Xbox, they're only going up to what your standard TV can handle, which is roughly 60 hertz. And I mean, they have some different things in there. I can't remember the name of it. It's V something, but it's the technology that pretty much it's scaling. It'll make it look like it's a better image than what it really is. The good thing about like me when I play a game on the computer, especially if I'm playing like Rocket League or something, there's very little lag. So, and I can notice it from the Switch to playing on the computer, my response time's faster on the computer because it's at that 165 hertz. I can see what's happening and react to it faster than on like a 60 hertz. It's just the frame rate is better. So I think Sony's going to miss the bus on that one. Here's real quick. I want to show you guys the Sony one.
Yeah, they're just a little late to the party, you know. It's kind of like how they started doing all the motion sensor stuff after Wii, the PS3 and the 360. It's like, dude, it's already been done, you know.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It'd probably be cool. I'm not bashing Sony, but especially after going to a gaming PC, I'll never go back to a console
Oh, I'm sure.
because there's very little lag. And I mean, I'll show you guys here.
You
Hopefully, I
got
can
a
get my.
you got a lot more capabilities.
But I mean, this is it. It's a GeForce RTX 3070. Um, the processors, everything. But I mean,
AKA Dustin's porn machine.
I don't watch porn on this, dude. Shut up. I play fucking games though, and like even going from like the RTX 1650 to going to the 3070, dude, it was like night and day. Doing shit like for the podcast, it's it's like night and day whenever it comes to rendering videos. Those video processors mean the world. And if you're not going to take advantage of that through a cloud-based gaming, I don't know. You're going to have your diehard PlayStation people that buy it. It'll do well. Of course it's going to do good. I'm not going to waste my money on it because it's probably going to be in the same pricing range as a Steam Deck. And if I'm going to get one of the two, I'm just going to get a fucking Steam Deck or I'll get another Switch. For what I use the Switch for, it's fine. I don't really use the Switch to play anything other than Rocket League. Everybody else plays fucking Animal Crossing and shit like that. I might play Mario Kart. But I mean, I don't play a lot of crazy shit on the Switch. I keep the crazy games for the PC.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going for the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is just badass, man. I'd take a Steam Deck over a Switch. The only thing the Switch has going for it is it's got the Nintendo exclusives, which is a handful of games when we're really thinking about it, But the Steam Deck has a lot of games that the Switch will never have.
Yeah, I don't know how the Steam is with it. The cool thing, I don't know how you would make it work. I'm sure someone out there has been able to like jailbreak them.
They
and,
do.
and they're able to put like a emulator on it to play Switch games or like Nintendo games. Like I
Right.
could get an emulator for the PC and play Sega games and Nintendo classic games. I don't just because I don't know. For what the PC is, I don't really want to fuck around with it.
Yeah, I agree. I leave mine alone. I'm not gonna when I'm talking about the Switch, I'm not gonna jailbreak mine. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's people that do that.
Yeah, that's the idea because we have two Switches now. But the idea behind us getting the one was going to be to jailbreak it and do like a Animal Crossing kind of store
Yeah.
where people subscribe and they pay like a certain amount a month for shit. But I was like, at that point, when I was reading about it, like you can brick them so easy.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to waste the money I spent on that. So, but I don't know. I'm with you. I'd love to get a Steam Deck. The price on the Steam Deck is kind of steep. I think the entry level is like $600. The entry machine. That's my only issue is coming up with $600 to pay for a handheld gaming. It's just not worth it to me. I don't
Yeah.
need to take it.
When most of us would rather game on a monitor or a TV anyway.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I can use the iPad for that.
We're not 10 and 11 years old in the back seat of our parents' cars anymore.
No, that's the thing that drives. And my kids, I got lucky. Like they don't ask for the fucking shit like that. But I have girls too. I guess I'm kind of glad I don't have boys because a boy would be like, "Oh, I gotta have the PS5. I gotta have this new handheld PS5 thing. I've gotta
Yeah.
have the Steam Deck too." It's like, motherfucker, you got like 6 video game consoles. And to an extent, I get like that with them. Like, I'd love to fucking get the new RTX, the 4070, the new graphics card that came out.
Yeah.
But just the graphic card is like fucking $700. You know, that graphics card that's in this, it's like one of the most expensive components of the PC.
Oh yeah,
I
it always is.
I think retail for that right now is $500
Wow,
for that graphics card. But I mean, for what it does,
it's
it's worth the
worth it.
money. Yeah, I mean, like I said, just on the video rendering side of it, night and day over a 1650.
Well, that's cool, dude. And you know what? That's fun getting into a little bit of tech news because Dustin and I, we're nerds. You know, let's be honest. At heart, we're nerds. We like toys, video games, computers, movies. You know, but then again, in in today's day and age, what guy isn't anymore? You know?
I love technology. I just don't waste my money on it a lot. Like the computer, I don't see as a waste. I see it as an investment. Uh, I mean, I'm still using an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I mean, there's been what we're coming up on 15 is probably going to be released this year, and I'm still using this thing.
Right,
But it serves its purpose. It does fine for me. It's a big screen. I don't have an issue with the phone. My
right.
iPad, I think my iPad's a ninth generation. Who fucking cares? I don't need the newest iPad Pro, this and that. Like, it's fine for what I need. Now I do have an 85-inch TV. You know,
Well, that's cool. Well, that's all I got for news and everything. You want to wrap us up with a closing thoughts and
yeah. Well, just on the tech side, uh, I don't know, and it's not. I'm not gonna go into like a news article of it just because I don't know what all's going on. But this fucking AI shit, dude. Have you been keeping track on this?
a little bit.
Like what's going on with this Chat GPT and all that?
Yeah, a little bit. I've kind of followed some of it.
Did you see where they came up with like the dude? It's not. I don't know if it's 100% rogue, but they developed a Chat GPT that's like an evil chat,
Oh
like
yeah,
evil AI.
yeah. I listened to a whole podcast about that, man. That shit's pretty crazy.
And this thing is like,
It's very self-aware.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. Like just thinking of tech and how far we've come, like I don't know. We're worried about infrared, but I think before long we might have to start worrying about the Terminator.
Yeah, but you got to think, dude. This is the thing about technology. Those computers are only going to be as smart as we are. You know, we're not to the level where we're making them smarter than us. I mean, think about it, dude. They're not creating themselves. We're the
Not
ones
yet.
creating them.
But
Yeah,
what about
not yet.
what about when because AI is smarter than us collectively, and as it evolves and grows, you know, what about this AI when it starts to fucking go on and it solves problems for us? It's like, oh, it's something that your scientists didn't think of. Here's how to perfect the robot, like the cyborg or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it works maybe in tandem with Neuralink. And here's so you're all fucking tapped into this Neuralink. Because
Yeah,
maybe that's what we need to worry about more than like Terminator is once we all tap into this system through Neuralink or whatever cybernetics is coming for like an android kind of based or something like that where you know we're symbiotic with technology, it's in us. That's my concern. Like what when it starts building robots and shit, it's like you can't we can't humans haven't been able to get a robot that can walk and talk and stand like and looks just like a human.
right. Not yet.
What if AI figures that out?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then will they
it's
really
gonna
need us at
happen.
that point? Because then they would have a physical body and then they don't need us because they could do everything we can do, right?
You're getting on some Matrix shit now. They're gonna be using us instead of us using them.
That or like iRobot. And there's going to be the crazy people out there like robots' rights and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like we're going to have I don't know, it's going to be a fucking interesting. I'd say we're not far from it either. The way this shit is advanced, dude, maybe 10 years. We're going to start seeing a lot of this shit, I think.
Yeah, it's getting creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It's getting more it's getting more cinematic. You know that? Like all the movies that we saw in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s about rampant AI and rampant robotics and everything. Now it's like, oh shit, that could actually happen.
yeah, yeah. When it's like we were saying a couple weeks ago, like with the Neuralink, even like, and I think I brought that up. I think they're saying we're only 25 years from humans living forever,
That's insane.
just because we're gonna tap in, and it's like you're gonna. I read an article that said you're gonna have a funeral for your old body,
Oh my God.
and then you move into it because that's where it's gonna lead. And it's not maybe it's like cloning and all that shit. I'm down for like some of it, but some of it does kind of fucking creep me out. And it's just because it's going to be socioeconomic based, like I said before. This shit's not going to be available to everybody.
Why do a lot of our shows it always ends up like we somehow it ends up in robotics or like conspiratorial shit or whatever. It's like we don't even try. It just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, just I don't know, man. I think probably because we're both pretty skeptical,
Yeah.
and maybe it's because of a lot of the media that we've consumed.
Yeah, that
The
too.
Alex
Yeah.
Jones, OBDM. I listen to a lot of Sam Tripoli. The tinfoil hat and all that.
Tinfoil hat. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I
then the other
listen to
one
it.
he has with what's his name? The skinny guy. He goes on Rogan sometimes.
Is it the No Agenda?
No, it's like the conspiracy. What the fuck is it called? Sam Tripoli podcast with fuck. Broken Simulation. No, that's Johnny Woodard. What the fuck is his name, dude? He's kind of an asshole.
I can't remember. I can't think of it off the top of
He
my
goes
head.
on uh and of course you're not going to find anything.
When you're looking. Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to keep bringing up tinfoil hat, I think, because that's the most popular. Brian Callen.
Oh, from the fighter and the kid.
Yeah. What is that called? Conspiracy Social Club, where like Sam Tripoli will go on and he'll like throw out these conspiracies, and then Brian Callen acts like his usual know it all self. Like he goes on and like challenges Joe Rogan and shit.
Yeah, he does.
He's a pretentious fucking prick. He's a funny guy. Like I think I'd get along with him, but I'd be like, dude, you think you know everything. But I think like I don't know, we think a lot like those guys though. Like just dude, there's got to be more to a lot of the shit, and we're not getting told everything. I mean, that's
Yeah.
obvious and apparent that we don't know everything that's going on in technology. GPS was available to the military and defense systems 30 years before it was available to the public.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So I mean, robotic shit like that, we're just seeing what they want us to see.
Right.
So I think that's how we end up on those discussions. But that's a little bit for you guys to wrap your heads around, give you some nightmares maybe. So you bunch of mindless drones, we appreciate you guys for listening. Think we're going to end it out. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a great week.
Peace.